Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So lately I've been kind of hitting my max mental capacity because, I'm starting a new W-2, which is really busy. And then I basically am getting settled into my new house here, which is finally stabilizing, as well as, planning for a wedding. But to be honest, my fiance is planning most of it, but, just her being stressed about it indirectly will stress me. And then on top of that, my fiance is starting a new job. And on top of that, we are planning for a vacation to Taiwan, Bali, Malaysia. And, obviously she planned most of it, but still, like to be able to discuss it, it's just a lot of things going on, right? So I have a lot of things going on at work and a lot of things going at home. And what you learn is your brain has a certain capacity. And once you overcome that capacity, you start to become burnt out. You start to become more forgetful and you start to be a little grouchy, right? So I hit a crazy burnout point about a year ago with my real estate. And now because things are like going crazy, like I feel like, and I'm sure you can relate with this, like your brain's like in this haze or this fog and you don't get clarity. So it's hard to think, it's hard to be creative. You're just focused on surviving, right? A lot of you can relate to this, especially in your W-2. So you're like putting fires there, you're putting fires at home, and you're just like living, being very reactive, right? So during this time window, it's the most important to find opportunities to slow things down and to quiet things down so you can quiet your mind and your brain so you can think creatively and to give your brain that time to heal, right? So like in this day and age, it's crazy. Like when you go to work and there's like Slack, there's Teams, emails, text messages, Facebook messages, man, it's just like a constant beehive of like noise, information, and stimulation, and you're just like constantly reacting. And you work on something, you get interrupted, and then you lost track of what you just done. Like you're sitting at work, and 5 people interrupt you, and you lose track of what you're doing. So like, and your whole day is gone, and you're like, what did I even do, right? Like, so when your job's busy, which you have no control over, obviously if you have a more laid back job, then you have time to think. But if you have a busier job, like me, then you don't have as much free time, so you have to try to bake in that time, right? So for me, I really do try to like take my breaks, right? So get a 15-minute break in, quiet, look at your phone, just sit there, focus on your breathing, clear the mind, right? I make sure I sleep early, right? Like if I'm going through a lot, at home or work, I need 9 hours of sleep, like 8.5 to 9 hours of sleep minimum, right? So I'll try to do less, right? If I'm really tired, I'm really big on listening to podcasts on my commute. But what I'll do is I'll just drive in silence for an hour. Like it sounds crazy, but try it. Like your mind will go racing, and then all of a sudden, after like 30 minutes, it just gets clear, and it's like meditation in a way, right? I'm stuck in LA traffic, so so what I've been doing is it's been more hectic at work and at home. When I drive, that's my quiet time, right? I will drive in silence an hour there, drive an hour in silence back, and that gives me time for my brain to remove all the stimulation, to recharge, to recalibrate, to rethink, so that you can get the creative ideas, right? In the morning, I have my miracle morning routine, right? Where I wake up, don't check my phone, complete silence, first 30 minutes, do some light stretching, I'll journal, eat breakfast. And then once I go to my car to start driving, that's when I'll look at my phone to check emails and messages and whatnot, right? So this built-in quiet time is what gives me the time to focus on other things, to problem solve, to how can I build my business better? How can I do my job better? Right? I need this quiet time intentionally to better myself. Sometimes you gotta take a step back to take 2 steps forward, right? So it's not always good to always be in the productive, busy beehive mentality. There's a time to sit back, do deep work, do deep thinking. This is a book by Cal Newport, Deep Work, Deep Think. And you try to do as much of it as you can, right? And bake in that time. So for me, I get at least 2 hours a day in my commute if I don't listen to podcasts, and 30 minutes in the morning. And then I try to get at least a 15-minute break in. But, at my job, for some reason, they love doing meetings at lunchtime, which I think it's a little bit unethical, right? It's like, give me my time to eat lunch. Give me time to reset. Like, people need to eat here. Unless you're giving me free food, then by all means, I'll do a lunch meeting. But in any case, you have to, when you're really busy, when you're really stressed, try to give yourself quiet time. And I know it's hard, right? Like if you have kids, I don't have kids yet. If you have kids, they're noisy. So I know a lot of my friends who have kids now, like they make their kids go to bed at 8:30, which is early, so that they can have alone time together and quiet time together to think clearly, right? So like in this time is when I get the best ideas. I'm able to problem solve. I'm able to get clarity. I want to know what the next step is. A problem that I was dwelling on for the past 3 days will suddenly have an easy resolution. So you have to bake in this like quiet time, quiet your mind, and whatever that looks like, right? Like you don't have to drive while listening to the music. You don't have to drive while listening to podcasts. You don't have to drive and talk and do a million other things, right? Just drive in silence, right? I'm spoiled. I have a Tesla, so I have a self-driving car on the freeway, autopilot, right? So I just autopilot and then sit there and stop and go traffic, rocking back and forth. So, you have to always, and I'm making this video selfishly for myself, right? Because it's been busy, it's been hectic, and I catch myself like, oh, I'm too reactive. So I need to slow it down when I can. So after work, I'll slow it down, right? Like, or I'll try to conserve my energy where, you can't fix everything in one day, right? At your job. So like, do the best you can. Set out to fix two or three things a day, and once you've done two or three goals, then you're good for the day, right? Like you've done more than you needed to, and you can go home and then focus on other things that need to be taken care of. So it's really that balance and being very intentional and knowing that, okay, during this time, I'm stressing myself out more. I need to make sure I exercise consistently, right? Like I've been working out, I'm actually sore, which makes me more tired. So when I'm sore from the gym and I'm stressed, it's hard to recover. So I need even more sleep, right? I need like at least 9 hours of sleep. And, I'll do like a bathtub soak, right? Where I'll do like, usually like lavender bubble bath to really just relax your body. And the aromatherapy helps relax your mind, right? So like when the times are tough, you gotta like sleep more, rest more, take it easy, be forgiving in yourself, right? Like don't overdo things, just take things one at a time, right? And don't take on too much, right? That's the downfall of us entrepreneurs is we want to do everything, solve every fire, and do it immediately, right? We have a sense of urgency versus like most W2 workers, they move so slow and they take forever to do things. And there's no sense of urgency because they're not incentivized to be urgent, right? Or maybe they don't have the capacity to go fast. So, knowing that you're like highly productive, then, you can get more done than most people in the same amount, in a short amount of time. So, be forgiving to yourself and be okay with yourself. So, anyways, just wanted to make this video to show that, you have to bake in time to quiet your mind, drive in silence, meditate in the morning, give yourself 30 minutes of quiet time in the morning, give yourself 30 minutes of quiet time at night, give yourself breaks at work, in nature outside, get some fresh air, whatever that looks like for you, bake it in so that it gives you time to reset so that you can solve that problem. Maybe I'll give you the next best business idea or, give you clarity on an issue. So if you are looking to buy your first multifamily deal, check out the mentorship program. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. Please share this video with somebody who can benefit from this, get value from this, and maybe their mind's too overactive. So hope to see you in the next one, and thank you so much.